Hello, and welcome to Conversations in Wellbeing with your host, Kathryn Forte. I guess this is actually episode 0. It's just about me. I'm going to do a little ramble. And apologies about the kittens in the background. I was inspired last year by a couple of people who I know doing podcasts. And after being asked to guest on a podcast in December, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. I had an idea in my head, and I can't believe how many people have actually come forward and said, yes, they'd love to be a guest on my podcast. So I guess the explanation in terms of what my thoughts are about this is well-being is huge. It is probably the biggest industry in the world. It is vast, but it is also very personal to the person who is on their journey to find well-being, and how they experience that. And I think that for me, being in the industry itself and being on my own journey for well-being over the last few years, is what I wanted to capture. I have used a lot of local people within the Sunderland and the Northeast area. So I'm super passionate about supporting small businesses. And I'm very grateful that a lot of the people that are going to come on the podcast are a small business as well. So hopefully if you're local to the Northeast, and if not, in some cases, because some of the people do virtual work as well, then, you know, it might inspire you to reach out and contact them. So basically the podcast will be about conversations with people that I've come in contact on my journey, or for people who've used, I am so sorry about that, about the joys of kittens, about how they are developing their journey into well-being. So there will be a lot of sharing, there will be a lot of inspiration, there will be tangents, there will be kittens in the background if we are recording this at my house. It will be a conversation over a cuppa, okay? So I have no ability at the moment for editing. That might be something that I develop over the coming year, or the coming episodes, but it will be raw, okay? It is, for me, it is so important to be authentic, so people really buy into what I'm about, but also for anyone who is providing a service and well-being, for you to really connect with that person on an authentic level as well. There will probably be some tears, more likely from myself. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm a very empathic person. And whilst I know the people who I've invited on to be part of the podcast, I don't always know the detail of their story and their journey. So I'm kind of expecting that there may be some tears along the way as people share that. And there is some absolute strength in terms of sharing vulnerability as well. And I think from those conversations, that's where the inspiration is going to come from for the people who are listening as well, to maybe think about, wow, I never thought about doing it that way. Or if that's happened to them, I relate to that. Maybe how they've developed their well-being could work for me. There will be some things that you've maybe never come across before, or you're a little bit skeptical about, or think it's all total woo-woo. Because sometimes with the well-being industry, and especially with some of the holistic treatments that are out there, it's a little bit mind-blowing. And for people who are very clinical based, you know, that need that scientific evidence, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to go for that. So I guess what I'm asking people to do is to come with an open mind, to have no judgments, to respect the people who are sharing their journeys as well, because obviously it's a very personal thing. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, I suppose what it's not. Okay, so this isn't going to be a podcast about how to do well-being, how you should go and do well-being, because A, I don't believe in shoulds, and B, as I've already said, it's a very personal experience. What worked for me on my journey isn't going to work for you. And let's face it, you haven't walked in my steps for the last 44 years. So it's about kind of giving people different ideas. And I think, what's worked for me in the past, because of where I was then, is going to be different to where I am now. So sometimes it's about revisiting things that you've done before in the past that maybe didn't work, but because of where you are now, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it's going to be different for you. So kindness always. I think after, the last, 3 years now after COVID, more so than anything else, being kind to other people, but absolutely start with yourself. Self-love, self-acceptance, and just being kind to ourselves in terms of what we do physically, but also what we say to ourselves, what we tell ourselves. That subconscious mind is always listening. So I often catch myself out of the things that I say to myself in terms of I am ... And I may catch myself out in terms of when I'm having the conversations as well. So, I hate the word try and I hate the word should. And sometimes I do fall into using those two words and, backtracking a little bit, because those words can really limit our belief in what we're capable of doing. So I think, being mindful of when you're listening to this about, no judgments and always being kind. What I hope to get out of it, apart from some amazing conversations with phenomenal people, I am absolutely buzzing. I have 16 people lined up so far, in terms of that are going to come onto the podcast. I'm starting today with myself as a kind of episode 0. It's my birthday. Yay! Happy birthday to me. 44 today. And I've got 16 people lined up. So my intention is to release a podcast every week on Wednesday. I am going to be corny and use hashtag wellbeing Wednesday. So super excited. I'd love to get feedback on the different episodes. Let me know how you found it. Let me know what it raised for you in terms of your thoughts. Let me know if you're going to take action on the things that were shared. Let me know if you can relate to the stories and the journey. And, maybe if you're listening to one of the podcast episodes and you think my friend needs to hear this, or my sister, my brother, my mother, my father, whatever, please share, because, I think there is such power in listening to stories, because there is always an emotive journey behind that can really help move people on in their own journey, because, life can be tough, quite honestly. And I guess, for me, a little bit of background, I've been self-employed since 2016 when I got made redundant. And that was a challenge. I have been, fully self-employed since 2016. So it'll be 7 years this July. My business is in health and wellbeing. I help people with their health in kind of 3 key ways. Nutrition, through coaching people in terms of weight management, target nutrition and energy and sports nutrition. I'm a distributor with Herbalife Nutrition, which will feature in some of the podcasts because of the people that I'm having conversations with. Through that, I set up my boot camp, which is known as We're Fit Sunderland. People who aren't from the Northeast may pronounce it Where, but it's based on the river Wear. So We're Fit Sunderland, and all of the hashtags that go along with that. I'm fit, you're fit, we're fit. And that for me has just been an absolutely gem of a vehicle to really help people realize what they are capable of and create in a safe community where people can come along and exercise. I do that 6 days a week, online and offline as well, which has been lush. And then massage therapy as well. I started in 2016 when I got made redundant with sports massage, and then added on pregnancy massage. And then during the whole like lockdown period, when I couldn't hands-on treat people, I expanded my skills with and dry needling, so medical acupuncture, Cutman therapy. I've done jade facial rejuvenation and hot stones as well. I've got a couple more courses that I want to add on in terms of skills, because I think for me, especially when I'm learning, I feel like I'm thriving as well. So there's a whole kind of like personal development journey around self-employment, which is really scary. And you know, like I said, I'm really passionate about supporting small businesses. So a lot of the people that I'll be coming into conversation with through the podcast will be either a sole trader like myself, or they will have a micro business. Down the line, who knows? Maybe we'll get some big CEOs involved as well. So I guess that's where I want to leave it today. Just a little intro, and you know, some of my stuff will be shared depending on who we talk about as we go along through the podcast. So if we are basing it on one a week, I've got basically 4 months worth of podcasts lined up for you, and I'm excited to see where this goes in the future as well. So without any further ado, much love, and I will speak to you soon.